Cedar Hollow was a cozy retreat, split-level homes, kids' laughter, sparrows chirping at dawn. But harmony breaks when a Karen sharpens her rules. Ruth Carver, a fake HOA cop with a vicious streak, turned neighbors into foes with her bans. One couple paid the heaviest price, a loss no apology could heal. This isn't just about birds, it's love shattered, a town reborn, and a tyrant's fall. Harold and Clara, retirees who fed sparrows and mended hearts, faced Ruth's cruelty head-on. Her goons brought a tragedy no one could brace for. Can Cedar Hollow rise? Or will Ruth's grip cage them all? Join us for a 40-minute journey, grief, grit, and a stand that'll move you. Like, subscribe, and drop a sparrow if you loathe fake HOA scams. Let's get started. June 2023 bathed Cedar Hollow in a golden glow, a suburban enclave where split-level homes sat snug, their lawns clipped but warm, the air alive with summer hums. Sparrows flitted at 6:30 a.m., stirring Harold Bennett, 67, a retired electrician with balding gray hair and steady hands that once wired whole neighborhoods. Beside him, Clara, 65, her gray bun loose, hummed Amazing Grace as she filled a bird feeder in their backyard, a wooden pole they'd crafted in 1984, painted slate blue, a refuge for sparrows they called Pip and Flick. Married 42 years, they were Cedar Hollow's glue. Harold rewired lamps for neighbors, Clara knitted scarves for kids, their backyard a haven where sparrows danced, their wings a soft blur against the morning sun. Their home, a 1970s split-level bought in 1983, held stories daughter grown, grandkids visits, a maple tree where Clara had scratched H&C 83 on their 15th anniversary. Cedar Hollow had changed, though. In 2020, Ruth Carver, 48, a property manager with a blonde ponytail and a clipboard, took over the HOA, her community standards a chokehold. By June 2023, her rules stung $100 for untrimmed hedges, no bird feeders, labeled vermin magnets. Her HOA crew, led by Dale, 42, a stocky ex-security guard in a dark blue uniform, roamed like enforcers, badges homemade. Harold shrugged them off, their feeders standing tall, sparrows chirping. "They're our friends," he'd say, Clara nodding. "Always will be." June 14th dawned gentle. Clara, in a floral cardigan, scattered seed at 7 a.m., Pip pecking near her feet, Flick swooping low. Harold sipped tea on the deck, planning to fix a neighbor's outlet, his toolkit ready. Kids darted by: Ellie, 11, waving, Sam, 15, sketching the feeder for a school project. At 8:30 a.m., Dale's golf cart screeched up, tires scuffing the curb. "Feeders banned," he snapped, waving Ruth's vermin edict. Clara, firm, said, "It's our yard, Dale." He smirked, yanking the pole down, with splintering, seeds spilling across the grass. Harold strode over, tea down, voice low. "Put it back." Dale shoved him, not hard, but enough, Harold's hip catching the deck rail, pain flaring as he stumbled, clutching the wood, his breath sharp. Clara rushed to him, her cardigan flapping, but Dale blocked her, radioing Ruth. "Bennett's our trouble," he said, his tone flat. Harold winced, hip throbbing, his vision blurring as Clara steadied him, her hands shaking. "Harold, sit," she urged, her voice tight, but her eyes flicked to Dale, fear mixing with defiance. Ruth rolled in at 8:45 a.m., her ponytail bouncing, her sneer cold. "Remove it or pay $600, she said, pin clicking like a gun. "Non-compliance means eviction." Harold's jaw set, hip screaming. "No." Clara's hand gripped his, her pulse fast, but Ruth's smile was ice. "Then you're out." She nodded to Dale, who slapped a violation sticker on the feeder's base, then chained their gate shut. No notice, no form, the metal glinting cruelly. Neighbors peeked: Margaret, 78, clutching her shawl, Tom, 36, a mechanic, looking away, Ellie, 11, filming on her phone, hands trembling as sparrows scattered. Sam froze, his sketchpad falling, whispering to his dad, "Why'd they break it?" Ruth's cart hummed off, Dale trailing, leaving the feeder in shards, the chain a taut. Clara helped Harold inside, icing his hip, her hands steady but her breath uneven, a shadow crossing her face. "We'll fight," she said, her voice firm despite the worry in her eyes. Harold nodded, pain searing, but Clara's resolve held him, her hum a faint echo as she swept the spilled seed. That night, Harold lay awake, hip throbbing, Clara's worry cutting deeper than the pain. At 3 a.m., she woke, chest heavy, gasping, her hand clutching his. "Harold," she rasped, her face pale, sweat beading. He sat up, ignoring his hip, and dialed 911, voice breaking. "Hurry, my wife." But the gate's chain held the ambulance idled, sirens distant, unable to enter. Harold grabbed a crowbar, hands slipping, cursing Dale, the chain unyielding. 11 minutes late, paramedics broke through, Clara's pulse weak, her lips gray. At Cedar General by 4 a.m., doctors worked fast. Dr. Patel, 43, grim, said heart attack, her heart weak from childhood, stressed the final push. By sunrise, Clara was gone, her hand cold in Harold's, her cardigan on the chair. Ellie's video hit 600,000 views by 8 a.m. naming Ruth, comments raging. Fake HOA killer. Harold sat. Birdcage empty. No sparrows chirping. Cedar Hollow's silence louder than his shattered heart. July 2023 cloaked Cedar Hollow in a stifling fog. Harold Bennett's world hollow without Clara. At 67, he shuffled, hip braced, sleeping in their recliner, her scarf draped over him, its scent fading. The cul-de-sac whispered Margaret, 78, left pies, her hands shaky. Tom, 36, fixed his mailbox, murmuring, "Sorry, Harold." Ruth's HOA squeezed tighter. Dale fined Margaret $150 for her shawl on the porch, $200 for Tom's truck, too loud. Harold's gate, unchained but scarred, drew $300 for non-compliance, the broken feeder pole still in the yard. Harold burned the notices, whispering, "For you, Clara," his hip aching with each step, the pain a reminder of Dale's shove. Ellie, 11, lit a spark online, her June 14th video at 800,000 views by July 12th, comments raging. "Justice for Clara." Fake HOA murderers. Tom, cautious, shared it, writing, "She knitted my kid's scarf." But fear hung. Ruth's lawyer, Karen, 46, sent Ellie takedown notices, claiming slander. Neighbors faltered. Sam, 15, stopped sketching, his feeder drawing crumpled. Margaret locked her gate. Harold, numb, met Lisa Grant, 39, a lawyer, on July 18th at his kitchen table, Clara's knitting needles untouched. Negligence, Lisa said, playing Ellie's clip the chain, Dale's shove, Clara's collapse. The gate killed her. Harold nodded, throat dry, his hand tracing HNC 83 on the maple outside, unseen. The suit filed July 22nd, claiming wrongful death, Ruth and Dale named for reckless enforcement. Ruth laughed at a July 28th HOA meeting, her blazer crisp, 45 neighbors mute. Margaret too weak, Tom too wary. Bennett's ignored rules, she said, Dale glaring at Ellie, who filmed despite Karen's threats. By November 5th, court hummed, benches packed with 15 neighbors, a rare show. Harold, in Clara's old tie, hip braced, faced Ruth, her sneer sharp. Lisa showed the chain's lock, Ellie's video, Clara's medical history: childhood heart defect, stable until stress. They delayed her care, Lisa said, her voice firm. Karen spun, Bennett's provoked it, showing Harold's put it back as aggression, Clara's heart as fatal anyway. On November 8th, Ruth lied on the stand, her voice soft, fake tears gleaming. "I tried to help." Ellie's second clip, posted November 7th, 1.1 million views, showed Ruth's "Remove It or Pay" played mid-trial. Jurors shifted, a man in row 2 frowning, but Karen painted Clara's health as inevitable, her ER visits from years past proof. December 12th, 2023, the verdict dropped, $450,000 for Harold, no liability for Ruth or Dale. Lisa gripped his arm. "It's something," but Harold's chest sank. The money hollow, Clara's life worth more than coins. Ruth smirked, whispering to Karen, her blazer untouched. Ellie filmed the exit, video at 1.3 million, comments raging. Justice failed. Harold limped home, hip aching, the birdcage heavy in his hands. December 18th, Ruth's HOA meeting gloated. 30 neighbors in the community hall, Her fine's now $900, $400 for Margaret's pie on her stoop, $500 for Tom's kid's bike. Harold burned his $350 fine. Ellie filming from across the street, her breath fogging, Tom whispering, "We're stuck." Margaret prayed, rosary clicking, her hands slower. Harold kept Clara's feeder pole, splintered, in their garage, touching it at night. No sparrows chirping, only Ruth's laugh echoing in his mind. He stood by the maple, tracing H&C 83, the bark rough, his hip a dull ache. Cedar Hollow simmered, Ellie's ex at $1.6 million, but Harold felt alone. Justice a lie, Ruth's chain a scar on his gate, Clara's echo silenced. January 2024 frosted Cedar Hollow, due on Harold Bennett's backyard, where Clara's feeder pole sat, broken but unbowed. At 68, he woke in his recliner, Clara's scarf on his chest, her scent faint, his hip braced but healing, 6 months without her hum. The cul-de-sac felt cold. Ruth's HOA ruled fiercer. Dale fining Tom's truck $600 for overparking. Margaret $250 for leaf litter, her broom too slow. Harold's gate drew $500 for non-compliance, though the feeder was gone. He burned the notice, whispering, Clara'd fight, his hands steady, hip a dull memory. Ellie, 12, led online. Her video at 1.8 million by January 6th, comments piling. For Clara. Fake HOA crooks. Tom, 36, joined her, saying, "My kid misses her scarves." Margaret slipped notes, "Keep going." But Karen sued Ellie for defamation, scaring neighbors. Sam, 15, hid his sketchpad. Tom locked his shed. Harold met Tom at a coffee shop January 12th, hip better, eyes tired. "Clara'd hate this," Harold said, tea cold. Tom nodded, "She'd fight." Ellie showed a leaked HOA log. Karen's note. Chain gates nightly. Harold's fist clenched. Clara's delay was planned. A trap. January 16th. Ellie posted it. 2 million views. Comments raging. Murderers. Ruth doubled fines $600 for Harold's scarf on the deck. Dale keyed Margaret's gate, smirking, his badge glinting. January 22nd. Tom hosted a barbecue. 60 neighbors in his yard, their breath fogging, rare for Cedar Hollow, fear loosening. Harold brought Clara's birdseed, voice low, she'd fight. Ellie filmed, Margaret praying. For Clara, her rosary clicking. Sam, 15, held a Sparrow sketch, his dad nervous but there. Ruth crashed, Dale behind, blue uniform stark. Disband or pay $1,200, Ruth barked. Tom, shaking, stood. No, Ellie's clip 2.2 million views by January 23rd drew strangers' Sparrow emojis, piling. Karen's suit loomed, but Harold felt Clara's hum, faint. In the crowd's murmur, his hip a distant ache. February 3rd, pickets sparked 120 neighbors, signs with Sparrows, outside Ruth's office, a shed on Pine Lane. Ellie led, 12, face fierce, shouting, for Clara. Tom carried Margaret's chair, 78, her shawl tight, chanting, no chains. Harold wheeled a cart of birdseed, scattering it, his steps slow but sure. Dale charged, shoving Ellie. Harold blocked him, voice hard, back off. Pain flared in his hip, but he held. Ellie filming 2.7 million views by February 6th. Ruth called cops, but Tom's cousin, Officer Dan, 32, shrugged. Free speech. Sam, 15, taped a Sparrow sketch to the shed, his dad clapping. Margaret lit a candle, her hands steady, whispering, Clara sees. February 12th. Karen quit her log leak, too messy, she told Lisa off record. Ruth's eyes darted at a February 15th HOA meeting, 20 neighbors chanting Clara. Ellie posted Dale's shove 3.2 million views by February 16th, comments flooding. Fake HOA falls. Lisa met Harold, showing Ruth's $800,000 fraud dues to her savings, no HOA account. We've got her, Lisa said. Harold nodded, scarf in his pocket, its threads worn. Hurt her, he said, voice low. Ellie filmed the meeting's chaos, Ruth's blazer creased, Dale's badge slipping. Tom's kid drew Sparrows, Margaret prayed, Sam sketched again. Harold, by the maple, whispered, we're trying, Clara. Sparrows chirped, soft, the first since June. Cedar Hollow wasn't free, but rebellion grew, Ruth's grip slipping, the town's scars burning with a whisper of hope. March 2024 scorched Cedar Hollow with defiance, the cul-de-sacs alive, frost fading as rebellion bloomed. Harold Bennett, 68, woke at 22, Pine Lane, Clara's scarf folded, his hip healing, heart still raw. The backyard, silent since Clara, drew faint chirps. Pip returned, flick trailing. Ruth's HOA cracked, her shed office boarded, Dale's cart gone, her blue blazer creased. Ellie, 12, led online, her exit 4.2 million by March 2nd, posting, for Clara, no bans. Tom, 36, printed Sparrow signs, Margaret, 78, sewing them on flags, her hands steadier. Harold fixed Sam's bike, 15, feeling Clara's nod, his hands steady. The Maples H&C 83, a quiet strength. March 4th, Ruth banned all backyard items, feeders, chairs, even planters. Her clean yards, rule of law, no vote, no notice. Dale nailed signs across Cedar Hollow, no items. Harold's yard, already bare, got a $1,000 fine for non-compliance intent. Ruth's pen vicious. Ellie filmed Dale's signs 4 million views by March 5th while Tom rallied 350 neighbors outside Ruth's shed, Sparrow signs high, shouting, Clara's echo. Harold carried Clara's birdcage, empty, his steps firm, whispering, for you. Margaret, 78, leaned on Tom, chanting, no bans. Sam led kids, Sparrow sketches taped to the signs, their parents joining. Ruth sneered, pay $1,500 or leave. Dale tripping Sam, laughing, his badge slipping. March 8th, Ellie aired a log. Dale's order, ban traps troublemakers, hitting 4.5 million views by March 9th. Karen, now flipped, met Lisa, sharing Ruth's $800,000 fraud dues to her savings, no HOA record. March 12th, Lisa filed fraud charges, papers stamped, Ruth named. Ruth, pale at a March 14th meeting, 15 neighbors, shouting Clara, offered Harold $200,000 to drop it. He burned her check, whispering, Clara's worth more. Ellie streaming, 5.5 million views. Cedar Hollow roaring, fake HOA fraud. Sam's dad taped Sparrows on his shed, Margaret lit candles, Sam sketched free. Dale keyed Tom's truck, but Tom laughed, fearless. March 18th, 700 rallied, tearing no items signs, seeds scattered, kids running free, Sparrows overhead. Dale fled, badge tossed, his cart abandoned. Ruth's bribe to a councilman caught on Ellie's mic leaked March 20th, 6.5 million views, comments raging, jail her. March 22nd, her fraud suit lost, HOA dissolved. March 24th, 2024, its charter void, Ruth's name mud. She sold her house. March 25th, gone by dawn, her ponytail under a scarf, Cedar Hollow's eyes on her tailgate. Harold stood with Ellie, Tom, Margaret, Sam, watching the shed cleared, kids playing, Sparrows darting. Margaret prayed, Clara sees, her rosary clicking. Harold felt Clara's hum, cage lighter, but no echo yet. The backyard still hers, the maple a silent vow. March 28th, Ellie's ex hit 8 million, strangers sending Sparrow sketches to 22, Pine Lane, piling on Harold's lawn drawings, notes, for Clara. Tom rebuilt his truck, painting a sparrow, his kid grinning. Sam, 15, gave Harold a sparrow feather, saying she'd like it. Margaret, 78, sat on her porch, candles glowing, no fines. Harold scattered seed. Pip and Flick chirping, his hands steady, whispering, we got her, Clara. Cedar Hollow breathed, its cul-de-sac softer, but Harold's grief lingered, the backyard alive, but Clara gone. Ruth's ruin was sweet, her empire ash, but Harold needed more, not her fall, but Clara's echo, alive again. Cedar Hollow's fight only half the promise he'd kept since 1983. April 2025 warmed Cedar Hollow, sunlight spilling over cul-de-sacs, split-level homes bright with spring, Sparrows flocking at dawn. Harold Bennett, 70, woke at 22, Pine Lane, his recliner traded for their old bed, Clara's scarf folded, it sent a memory. The backyard bloomed, bird feeders back, Pip and Flick darting, seeds scattered. Their chirps an echo Harold hadn't heard since June 2023. He stood by the maple, tracing H&C 83, his gray hair sparse, hip healed, heart lighter but still scarred. 22 months since Clara's heart attack. Harold whispered, "You're here." Scattering seed. The Sparrows a promise kept. Clara's hum faint but alive. Cedar Hollow healed. Its soul Clara's. Ruth's HOA was dust. Her shed now Clara's haven. A half-acre lot with grass, feeders, no fences a sign. Tom's work. Red. For Clara, our echo. Harold visited daily, pushing Clara's sister, Ruth, 68. In her wheelchair, her gray bun like Clara's, her eyes kind but tired, heart weak like her sister's. Ruth, living with Harold since 2024, spoke slowly. Harold, her voice soft after therapy at Cedar General. He'd fixed her a room, Clara's photos on its walls smiling, knitting, feeding Sparrows, strangers mailing notes. Clara inspired us. Harold read them, voice catching on hope, Ruth's hand steady in his. The cul-de-sac lived again. Tom, 37, ran a watch group, no badges, just texts, catching kids' pranks, no fines. His garage thrived, Clara's bolts a hit, his kids sketching Sparrows, grinning. Ellie, 13, started a fund for heart patients, her ex at 9 million, Clara's haven trending. Margaret, 79, prayed, rosary worn, her porch a candle shrine, no fines. Sam, 16, painted a mural, Clara's smile and wings at school, kids guarding it. Even old man Harris, 81, Ruth's old ally, mowed the haven, muttering, "Pays my dues." Spats stayed loud dogs, messy bins, but yards bloomed. Rules gone, Cedar Hollow free. Harold felt it at dawn, Ruth by the maple, kids biking past, Sparrows chirping. He'd pause, seeing 1983 Clara's laugh, their first feeder. Her photos told stories, a scarf mid-knit, a hand waving. Ellie's fund bought monitors, strangers wrote, "Clara saved me." Harold framed them, Ruth's, good, firm, her eyes bright. He'd build a bench for her, sunlight on her bun, watching her sketch Sparrows, her hum Clara's echo. "My home," he'd say, hanging her art, the backyard alive, feeders full, tea steaming, Sparrows dancing, no stickers to peel. Ruth was nothing. Her apartment, 80 miles away, sold cheap in 2024, ex-posts fading. She worked retail, ponytail dyed brown, alone. Dale washed dishes, badge long gone, eyes down. Harold didn't care. Their ruin fed Clara's haven, soil for her echo. A 2024 note from Ruth, "I'm sorry," burned in his tin can, Ruth nodding. "Not enough," Harold said, her no sharp. Cedar Hollow's justice, Ruth's name hissed, was enough, her ban a memory. Harold's was Ruth's laugh, her echo clearer daily, the backyard their vow. April 8th, 2025, brought a barbecue, 22 months since Clara. Harold hosted, feeders full, yards alive down Pine Lane. Burgers sizzled, Tom's bolts steamed, Ellie's playlist hymns always hummed. Ruth wore Clara's scarf, wheelchair by Harold's side, her bun neat. Neighbors packed the yard, 250 laughing, sparrow tails flying. Sam danced, 16, all elbows, Ruth chuckling. Margaret brought pie, hands steady. Harris tossed a ball, smirking. Tom toasted Harold. "You kept us free." Ellie filmed, Ruth's family soft but proud. "Home," she said, hand on Harold's, his smile wide, crowd fading to them. Clara's haven opened April 12th, 2025, under a clear sky. 500 gathered neighbors, heart patients, Ellie's donors. Harold stood by Ruth, her wheelchair steady, her eyes bright. Tom's sign shone. "For Clara, our echo." Harold spoke, voice low. "This is hers. Keep it singing." He scattered seed, Ruth's love, ringing, her sketch in his hand. The crowd clapped, eyes wet. Ellie's clip hit 4 million views. A stone read, "For Clara, our echo." Harold traced it, Ruth's hand warm, feeling 1983, Clara's wink alive. Ellie's film played, Harold's voice. "No band stops us." At dusk, Harold pushed Ruth home, kids running, Sparrows flitting. He paused by their feeder pole up, seeds full, echo steady whispering. "We did it, Clara." Ruth's yes was soft, her scarf bright. Cedar Hollow's scars spats, shadows faded under its song. Yards sang, proof of a town that chose love over rules, a fight that freed them. Harold set Ruth's sketch by the feeder, its chirps high, and rolled her inside. their home warm, their grief lighter, Clara's echoes soaring on. Cedar Hollow's stand wasn't just Harold's, it was every neighbor who fed a sparrow against Ruth's dark. Her rules didn't bend. They broke, smashed by a town's heart and one girl's camera. Their love, their yards, proved no band could cage what's true. If this moved you, smash that like button, share it with someone who'd feel it, and join HOA Karen files for more battles against fake HOA cops. Could you fight like Harold? Ever face a Ruth's nonsense? Drop your story in the comments. Maybe a sparrow for Clara. Subscribe for what's next. We're keeping the song alive. Stay true, and we'll see you soon.